All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the July version of Story and Verse. Thank you. My name is Brass Rabbit. I will be your host for this evening, as always. I am so excited to be back here, and I want to apologize for our last event. A tree almost flattened my car, and then I almost got stuck in like a river that formed on 206, and I was just like, maybe the universe is saying no poetry today. So I'm so grateful to see many of you here. I hope that you haven't had too much of a wet summer thus far, as I know it has been torrentially downpouring. We have a gorgeous day today, and I am so excited to be here with you guys. I'm going to get a little bit into some of our guidelines. I bet that one of you could actually do this for me at this point, but just in case, I know we got some first-timers here. So here at Story and Verse, everybody has just about 5 minutes. We prefer that you keep your language at a adult-appropriate timbre, somewhere in through there. It seems like we might have a couple younger audience members here tonight, so if you have some language that you think might be a little bit questionable, perhaps this is time now to find a synonym for some of that language. That would be greatly appreciated. So a language, you can kind of feel out the room, maybe think of some synonyms. Obviously, no really graphic violence, hate speech, etc. Something that is not appropriate for an arts council. You can do the math on that. Maybe don't say it on this stage. Everybody's got 5 minutes. I have a designated alarm for the 5-minute mark. Upon reaching 5 minutes, if you have gone over that time limit, you are going to hear. That is a signal. That's a signal to you, performer, that you need to start wrapping it up. That means you got to skip a couple stanzas. This thick stack of paper are all people that need to perform. I'm so grateful for all of you doing your best to accommodate the time restriction. Our specific theme for today is in the deep end. As I mentioned, we have those torrential downpours. So you guys, if you have written for that theme, I'm so excited to hear what you have to say. If this is a surprise to you and you didn't know that there was a theme this evening, that is totally fine. You're more than welcome to come up here and share what it is that you have. I also have some micro stories here tonight. They are on brand with our theme in the deep end. Many of you have filled them out, and I'm so excited about that. I'll be reading them intermittently between performers as a little bit of a palate cleanser. If any of you want to, or still have one in your hand that you're not sure how to finish, you can feel free to hand that to me at some point. I'll still take it. Our next performer will be sharing a poem. In anything else you'd like us to know, they said, I haven't read here in a while. It's great to be back. Please put your hands together for Jeff Hansel. Jeff, come on up.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to read a few poems. This first one is called Haunted Harbor. Once a bustling port lie quiet, empty slips. Some say it bustles still, late into the night when the moon is full. Ghostly vessels crowd the harbor. Joker 2, Aquaholic, Memories, The Salty Dog, Peggy Sue, to name just a few. Translucent, wispy crews patrol the decks, barking out orders of the utmost importance. Restless spirits eagerly returning home to lovers, family, and friends long since gone. But still, they dutifully fulfill their watches, hoping for a glimpse of life. Oh, what a sorrowful wish at last. Thank you. This next one's called A Place in My Dreams. There's a place in my dreams where I go to be free. Not the usual dreams, but dreams about me. My secret desires, that's what I mean. Where I go to be free, there's a place in my dreams. This next one's called Epiphany. The comfy seat is reserved. You know it before you walked in the door. Gleefully, you take your place in the non-comfy seat, as you've done so many times before. It's not so much a sacrifice, 'tis just how it is. Ah, to see the look on her face as she enjoys her food, just to hear her exclaim, boy, you done good. Don't you go fantasizing about that comfy seat. Fool, you were lulled by distractions. That dream ain't gonna happen. You know your place, be happy about it. You may not be comfy, but you are allowed to sit. And I got 2 really short ones and 1 more. Thank you. These are about as short as they can be. This next one is called Pleasing People. Pleasing people is overrated. The next one is an uncomplicated life. An uncomplicated life does not exist. And my last one, sorry, it's true, I can't. Where have all the poets gone? Where have all the poets gone? Where are all the poems about trees, about birds, butterflies, sunsets, or a summer breeze? Where have all the poets gone? Do we even write about love anymore? Sweet memories or anything else that pleases? Where have all the poets gone? Do we write about deep, gut-wrenching feelings? Do we dare to scratch our souls, to get at thoughts or emotions with meaning? Where have all the poets gone? We write of all these things and what we deem important. Current news, the latest coup, anything to get passionate about. But do we write passionately about love? Where have all the poets gone? Now, I'm done. Thank you.
All right, so we've got our first micro story for you. Tell us about a time you jumped right in the deep end. I went for a bikini wax, but upcharged to a Brazilian. It was literally my deep end. And then also this person writes, guess who? They're supposed to be anonymous for a reason. All right, up next, we have a poet. In there, anything you would like us to know about you, they wrote, visiting student from Spain. Please give a very warm welcome to Carla Rodriguez.
Thank you very much. I wrote my poem originally in Spanish, so I think I will read it first in Spanish and then in English. And I wrote it because I wanted to reflect on how society does not give as much importance to emotional or psychological wounds as to physical ones. So in English, it's entitled How to Heal an Invisible Wound, and in Spanish, Cómo sanar una herida pensada. Lea el prospecto detenidamente porque contiene información importante para usted. 1. Posología. Consuma en las primeras 48 horas lo siguiente: el crujir de su sonrisa favorita, el picor del sol en sus pupilas y el perfume de un abrazo reencontrado. Tome una dosis al menos cada 8 horas. 2. Si es usted adulta o tiene más de 16 años, repita el primer paso diluyendo sus lágrimas en pozos de café y platos sucios. 3. Si los síntomas persisten durante más de 30 días, ingiera varios miles de kilómetros de aire hasta llegar a un lugar que le recuerde a su anterior yo. Precaución. Una exposición prolongada puede conllevar la aparición de heridas compartidas o hereditarias que pueden anular los efectos de este tratamiento. 4. Háblelo con alguien para compartir el corte. Efectos secundarios: brote de conocidos con capacidades telepáticas, sangrado por exceso de estigmatización e irritación por palabras huecas. 5. En caso de que la herida se enquiste, lleve consigo un pequeño espejo de bolsillo en todo momento. Téngalo a mano cuando le llamen psícorax, persona difícil o problemática. 6. Tabique las paredes de su casa con murmullos de azufre y espere el tiempo que sea necesario hasta que se forme una costra dentro de la que poder vivir. Y 7. Escriba un poema. In English, How to Heal an Invisible Wound. Read this leaflet carefully because it contains important information for you. 1. Dosage. Take the following in the first 48 hours. The crack of your favorite smile, the itch of the sun in your pupils, and the perfume of a reunited hug. Take a dose at least every 8 hours. 2, if you are an adult or over 16 years old, repeat the first step, diluting your tears in coffee grounds and dirty dishes. 3, if symptoms persist for more than 30 days, intake several thousand miles of air until you reach a place that reminds you of your former self. Warning, too much exposure can lead to the appearance of shared or passed down wounds that can reduce the effectiveness of this treatment. 4, talk the cat out with someone. Side effects: outbreak of acquaintances with telepathic skills, bleeding due to excess of stigmatization, and irritation due to hollow words. 5, in case the wound is infected, carry a small mirror with you at all times. Have it within easy reach when you are called sycorax, difficult, or a problematic person. 6, wall up your house with whispers of sulfur and wait as long as it's necessary until a crust where you can live is formed. 7, write a poem. Thank you.
All right, our next performer would like us, being the audience, to know: the most expensive dinner I have ever had was a home-cooked meal in a haunted house on Nantucket. Please put your hands together for William Beck.
True story. I'm not fibbing about that one. I had a home-cooked dinner in a haunted dwelling mansion, and I looked at the price on the steak. They'd thrown out the wrapper, and it was a $175 piece of Kobe beef, and that was in like $2006. So that was one. And then they wanted to take me out to the most expensive place on Nantucket, and I was like, "You're feeding me like $150, $200 pieces of steak in your house. I think I'm good here, you know." But hi, everybody. And we're going to start out, I think Mental Health Awareness Month may have passed, but you can talk about that subject anytime. I do believe that this is, among other things, a national minorities with mental health issues or something like that, mental health awareness for those in minority communities month. So, and those are both communities that I think are going to really need support and help in this new administration and, as we go further. But this is for anyone who has a mental health diagnosis, but also for those of us who love them, who have people in our families or friends and have, had enriching experiences. This is called The Other Van Gogh. Theo was not the gifted artist. His worth eclipsed by his brother's tortured brilliance. No. His gift lay in his patience and compassion, in his ability to see his brother's genius when others saw a raving degenerate. How can we even understand the agonies endured by Theo? Vincent's untalented brother, whose artistry lay in keeping his brother alive long enough to show the world that psychotic agony could be transmuted into enduring beauty. Thank you. We are going to, now I've done this one before. I've been losing weight steadily since 2022. I've lost 167 pounds now, something like that. Thank you. And to those of us who are, losing weight, going through that, I'm with you. I hear you. I understand. This is dedicated. This is on a little bit of a lighter note. This is dedicated to the unhealthy lifestyle that some of us leave that put us in that position where we need to do things a little bit healthier. This is the cheeseburger psalm. The Lord maketh me cheeseburgers, which I shall want. He maketh those delicious beef patties. He alloweth me to sit down under the golden arches. He leadeth me to the Coca-Cola machine and provideth me with 8,000 choices of carbonated syrup water. He restoreth my appetite and leadeth me to the paths and obesity and gluttony for their own sakes. Yea, though I walk through the valley of fitness machines, of the shadow of fitness machines, I will fear no exercise, for Grimace, thou art with me. Your McRib and your fries, they do comfort me. Thou givest me 2-for-1 Big Mac coupons in the presence of personal trainers. You anointeth my blood with saturated fat. Now my cholesterol levels runneth over. Surely hypertension and cardiac arrest will follow me to the end of my days. And I will dwell in the house of the intensive care unit forever and ever. Amen. Thank you. This is dedicated to anybody who has been through domestic abuse, male or female, and those of us who have been through it with them, or who have loved people, who have helped people, who have been in that situation. It's called kintsugi, or kintsugi, and it starts with a definition. To repair with gold, the art of repairing pottery with gold or silver lacquer, and understanding that the piece is more beautiful for having been broken. There are people in this world who view women as pretty objects to be broken. And someone tried to break you. Someone threw you on the ground and shattered you into a million pieces. But time and love and wisdom are skillful artisans. And you are whole again. Your fissures sealed and mended, but you always turn your face away from others the way one might turn the cracked side of a vase towards the wall. And others look away from you because they only see the fissures and the flaws. I'm the only one who sees the gold within your seams. Thank you. Okay, one more then. And we're out. Okay. I've read this one before, but it's short. Star Spangled Banner 2025 edition. Oh, say, can you see by reason's cold pale light that the freedoms we guard are so quickly vanishing? With our city lights and our themed bars, we've forgotten our plight. And iced raids we watch as the Bill of Rights is disappearing. And the rocket's red glare show that we really don't care. We are killing our foes in the night as our preachers say their war prayers. Oh, say, is that a MAGA banner I see being raised over the land of debris and the home of the slave? Thank you very much. Thank you to the Princeton Arts Council and Brass Rabbit. Have a good night.
Everybody's gonna be running now. Everyone has to run. All right, our next performer said, after a year-long break, I've resumed working on my first novel. Please put your hands together for Christina. Christina, come on up.
Hello. I also have one about mental health, so now I feel less glib. I wrote this before I started taking Zoloft. It's called An Ode to My Stomach. My stomach likes to make its presence known, my most talkative organ, groaning and creaking like antique floorboards in the winter, shrieking. My most selfish organ, constantly needing and wanting, taunting. My most sensitive organ, it takes every thought to heart, my gut producing an overabundance of bowlines and clove hitch. My stomach is a bitch, pointing out insecurities and inferiorities, spreading its vitriol to my pelvis and into my chest cavity, peer pressuring my other organs into chastising me, until my whole body is telling me, you're unhappy, stop ignoring us. Eventually the rest quiet down, so I can go about my day. But my stomach, my most honest organ, keeps any false sense of security at bay. Thanks. And then once I started taking Zoloft, my anxiety stomach aches went away. So recommend. And then I'll just do one more. So this one is called Dear Future Daughter. To my future daughter, I want you to dye your hair crazy colors, neon and pastel and maybe even blonde, before you wake up in a corporate job and worry more about being taken seriously than expressing yourself eclectically. Explore different identities, goth, prep, and jock, even the ones that don't exist yet. Go crazy and experiment, and keep the door open for further development, because you're always allowed to change. Don't be afraid to grow, but don't feel shame if you have to shrink sometimes. It pays to be kind, but it also pays to be an overconfident bull. Find the balance, and you'll go far in life. Date everybody. Crush hopelessly and without embarrassment. It'll help you avoid resentment. It might foster a fear of commitment, but that's already in your genes. Don't be afraid to lean into it with that reason. Keep the pictures you think you look ugly in, the ones with frizzy hair and acne on your chin. Allow yourself to look back and grin at how cute you really were. Get dirty and then enjoy the process of prettying yourself up. Femininity is nothing to scoff at and can coexist in between softball shifts and burping contests. To my future daughter, although you'll probably never exist, because your mom is too selfish and too fearful of messing you up, but I know you'd be amazing were you to ever exist. Thanks.
Tell us about a time you jumped right in the deep end. I told my most traumatic story during the first time I ever was on stage. I bombed. At least it's over. All right, up next to the mic, please put your hands together for Vani. Vani, come on up. Where are you? There you are.
I missed you guys so much last month. Oh my gosh. Felt like forever. Don't ever do this. I can't be without you I can't skip a month without you. So this one was literally written like 2 days ago. The theme wasn't on the website, so I had to reach out to Brad. I didn't know what it was. I wrote a poem about the previous theme from June, and then I found that there's a new theme, so I wrote a new poem. So this one is based off the theme, The Deep End. You want to be friends with benefits? I ain't no HR department. If you're looking for benefits, I suggest you pull up job search engine and apply for a job with a 401k, paid sick days, paid personal days, paid vacation days, medical care, dental care, vision care, and a flexible spending account. And if you're lucky enough to find something with all these benefits, it won't be easy to get in the door. And if you do, trust and believe that benefits will not be provided for at least 90 days until you complete the probation period. Now, I may not be a corporation, but best believe that I have my standards too, and it's called a relationship. Because in my sea of love, it's all or nothing. I don't dabble in shallow waters. If you want to get with me, you got to swim to the deep end. Thank you guys.
We're all just like tormenting Vonnie by hiding the theme from her every single month. Don't tell her. All right, up next to the mic for a poem, please give a very warm welcome to Kimberly Lenore. Kimberly, come on up.
Hello, everybody. It's been a long time. I started this a while ago, but I just finished it today once I found out the theme. So I hope it goes on one point to the theme. But you guys gonna have to think a bit. It's untitled. Maybe somebody could give me a title suggestion. Anguished is the mind of one full of the world's treasured things. My storage is full, but lacks one thing. Feed me the bread that is woven with tales of unfathomable woes and miracles of the blessed. As I lie in bed to rest, I pray, will I be worthy of a visit from heaven's best? To receive a glint of my sullied cloth used to polish my woeful heart, I fear I may have stained my soul as I swam through brackish waters. For I've never known a life riddled with stones, yet my glass castle crumbled from the seeds that I've sown. So here I stand, not just a homeless man, but a broken mind with my soul in my hand. I bet I lie with a mournful cry that leaves not my mouth. If I shall arrive at a gate, will an angel await with a clean cloth for my naked state? Okay. Any title suggestions? No? Okay.
I'll check back in.
Good, because I kind of suck at titles. My soul.
Mark, that one? All right, okay. That's the title. There you go, done. Should go into business. I just want to make like a really quick PSA. There, as you all probably passed, is a spectacular exhibition downstairs in the main gallery. There are spectacular exhibitions here at the Arts Council of Princeton that are always on view for free. Every time you come here, I really hope you guys check them out. I've got some friends that are downstairs in the main gallery, so that might be closing as we exit. But please do make sure that either you stalk the Instagram, which is what I do when I can't show up in person, or take pictures. Post them to your Instagram story, tag the artist, follow the artist, creep on everybody. There's some really beautiful stuff that's in this building right now, as always, but I advise you, if you can sneak down there at some point and check it out, please do. And there's another phenomenal show up here of some drawing works, too, that I'm sure you guys are already checked out on the way in. But the Arts Council doesn't just support us, they support everybody, so support them back. Thank you. All right, up next to the mic, I write poems and stories. Put your arms together for Sam E. Sam, come on up.
Hey, everyone. Thank you all for being here tonight. It's a wonderful turnout. It's great. So I have three poems to share with you tonight. One short, one medium, and one a little bit medium plus. So this first one, the last one has to do tangentially with our theme. So, yeah. First one's called Statues. What's a guy gotta do to be immortalized in stone in a mid-sized community park? Do I have to walk the moon? Do I have to achieve legend in sport? Do I have to lead a charge in battle? Did I have to trade slaves? Did I have to abuse women? Did I have to cheat, steal, and lie? What makes a man great anyway? So great that we build shrines for them and then we tear them down when the full story comes out. Thank you. So that's the first one. These next two I wrote for my 5-year-old niece. This first one is called Cheeto, I Love You. I was sitting on the beach, soaking in the sun, listening to the ocean sing and people having fun. Unmistakable in the distance, I heard it from afar, the piercing screech of a hungry seagull, our story's central star. It was soaring in the sky, looking left and right, on the hunt for a morsel it could snatch up on sight. At first, it was patient. Everything was fine and neato, until the bird spotted a poor boy, in his hand a bright orange Cheeto. The modern-day dinosaur flapped its wings above, for it knew its stomach and the Cheeto were desperately in love. And when the time was right, it swooped down in the air, so the unsuspecting boy was given quite the remarkable scare. He threw his hands up screaming. That's when things really went south, for the glorious orange Cheeto landed right in the seagull's mouth. The happy bird flew up, squawking in delight. It tossed the cheese puff in the air and chomped it in one bite. Our avian friend carried on, still burning for a snack. He was selfish and wanted more, for hunger he did not lack. But the boy was in love with Cheetos too, and didn't want his hopes to sag, so he hurried back to his big beach towel and ate the entire Cheeto bag. All right, and this last one is about, it's a familiar character I think everyone is familiar with. It's about a particular person that hurtles himself into the deep end. Come one, come all, and lend me your ear, for this tale is guaranteed to give you some cheer. The setting is England, the year 615, when details are hazy, few documents seen. In the small town of Wrexham, on top of a hill, stood proud a tiny pub, a place to eat your fill. And in this proud pub, engorging to satiation, sat a man at a bar with royal inclination. On his chest a line sigil did bear, a smile so generous with flowing auburn hair. His name, Arthur Pendragon, resting on a journey that would certainly put most folk in a gurney. He traveled far and wide in search of the Holy Grail, the fountain of youth, the eternal blessed pale. And on this one day, this particular day, King Arthur was exhausted. He could go no more, no way. He was sitting at the bar, enjoying himself nicely, when 3 people burst through the door, looking quite worried and unsightly. King Arthur, the townspeople did yell. We desperately need your help. All things are unwell. He looked at them coldly, his face full of spite, for he was tired and hungry, and he was mid-bite. Good people of Wrexham, Arthur began to groan. Can't you see that I'm eating? Now leave me alone. King Arthur, the townspeople did shout. There's a huge dragon flying about. A dragon? Moaned the noble. That's just my luck. But these good people need saving. No task I can duck. And with that remark, he finished off his meat. Then he stood up and pushed in his seat. He donned on his armor, gathered his swords, said his goodbyes to the peasants and lords. He strode out the pub. To his horror, he found many fires were blazing near, far, and around. And Arthur looked up in the dark, stormy sky. Indeed, they were right. A large green dragon did fly. He dashed down the hill across the front lawn, mounted his steed Bertrand to meet danger head on. The remaining pub goers gathered on hilltop to watch the blur of silver and red cut through the backdrop. O dragon, King Arthur exclaimed, you've caused destruction and death. You should be ashamed. The beast turned its head, glided down in an arc, its nostrils spewing flames, hot orange in the dark. Who dares oppose me? The foul creature did bellow. You should be afraid. I have killed many a fellow. Over here, vile thing, shouted Arthur without fear. The monster looked right at him with an ugly sneer. The dragon soared about and did a loop-de-loop and came down on King Arthur in one fell swoop. Arthur put up his shield, braced for hard impact. The talons lodged in, the king's protection cracked. The noble was knocked clean off his poor trusty Bertrand, and when he got up he saw he had lost his right hand. I've got you now, the dragon cackled. Your time's running out, your sword arm is gone. You can do nothing but pout. It came back around to cut him down on one knee, but the beast was fooled, for ambidextrous was he. King Arthur unsheathed Excalibur, brandished the blade up high, and from the clouds a bolt of lightning flashed down with thunderous cry. And with a scream, King Arthur thrust right through the dragon's heart. And for once it did happen to the dragon, death did impart. A screech rang out far and wide, followed by a thud. There it was, the creature's carcass, lying in the mud. Victorious, Arthur limped on Bertrand back to town, where he was greeted with barrels of beer and a chance to sit down. He waddled back to the pub, put up his sore feet, and single-handedly finished a well-earned sweet treat. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. That's it.
All right, up next to the mic, our next performer wanted us to know, in some of the most beautiful handwriting in the whole wide world, this is my first time here and my first open mic. Yeah. All right, so please give a very warm welcome to Priyanki Brat. Priyanki, come on up.
Hello, everyone. Okay. So I've been writing on my blog from last 10 years and writing in my diaries from last 15 years, and I recently decided that I'll publish a book. So this is my... So the title of my book is Let Your Thoughts Fly, and it's a collection shaped by resilience and reflection, written to inspire anyone who's feeling stuck. It's available for purchase on Amazon. And the poem I'm sharing tonight is about those moments when even small steps feel heavy, and how sometimes just taking one at a time is enough. I think it fits tonight's theme well. The title of my poem is One Step at a Time. Finding my way, one step at a time. When times are tough, go one step at a time. Overcoming stress, one step at a time. Learning to cope, one step at a time. Not losing hope, one step at a time. Craving for cure, one step at a time. Letting it go, one step at a time. I climbed up, one step at a time. Pacifying myself along the way. It's okay to whine sometimes. It's okay to stumble when the steps are heavy with a burdened mind. Stumbling, I sat on the edge of a step, finding it hard to get up and move. I sat there for a while, complaining about my pains, but it brought more discomfort than any sort of gain. Just then, I heard a knock, a voice from within, that removed my blindfold and showed me the handrails. Filled with gratitude for all those handrails that life gave me in tough times, I took another step up, instead of being stuck on step 9. The voice whispered again, never give up on hope. It brings the joy of sunshine that helps you to cope. Firming my grip on the stairs of hope, I moved forward again, feeling stronger, empowered again. To anyone sitting at the edge of a step, finding it hard to move, listen to the voice within. Keep going forward, one step at a time. Yes, just one step at a time. Thank you very much. I forgot to wear my glasses, and that's why everything was blurry, but I just read it fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, our next performer wants us to know, happy to be here. Please, please follow me on YouTube at A. Benedict. A. Benedict, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice to see you all. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Let's hear for brass. Let's hear for Melissa. And let's hear for Fiona. All right, so I want to start on a serious note because several of you talked about mental health. And I work in the mental health, suicide prevention, crisis intervention field. And I'm gratified. I am so gratified to hear the discussion and you sharing that in your work. It makes me feel good because years ago, it was all a stigma. And now we're recognizing that it affects everybody. And just to share, there's always somebody to talk to. You can try 988, talk to a friend. There's always somebody you can talk to. Okay, so I published my latest book right here, A Return from Elysium, Racing Sisyphus Up the Mountain, about a year ago. And we're going to have a little fun here. If you can get this question right, you get a free copy. Who was the poet who wrote the poem Clouds, the Clouds? It was, I bring fresh showers for the thirsting flowers. Who was that? 19th century, early 19th century, William Beck? No. Anyone else? Okay, he's got 3 names. Right? No, good guess though. A little earlier. Who said that? You get a copy. Congratulations. Percy Bryce Shelley, 1820. Okay, I'm going to share a couple pieces tonight. And the theme is in the deep end? Okay. Why fall into the deep end here? All right. First one's called River Fantasy. Along a river, contemplating waters amid thoughts distracting, late summer vines crawling, reaching orange prime, spreading, blending into my sense of wonder. Her soft brown hair flowing onto alabaster shoulders, standing alone along the water's edge, standing, also contemplating. Meeting her through the weaving of Lady Fortune's wheel spinning, virtuous courage strengthening upon my approach toward her. Eyes sparkling deep, green, brighter than polished jade, as I continue staring deeply and keenly, trying not to be seen. Anxious to speak, fearing the wrong word could end the conversation as quickly as temperatures dropping, faster than autumn winds carried by Zephyrus. Holding firmly, continuing to talk confidently, coherently, and courageously. Moving closer as I steal a wondrous smile from her face. Time stopping, I'm left wondering how this story plays out, enjoying the moment along waters turning, gazing intently back into my eyes, begging for a return smile. I'm not overanalyzing or taking a victory lap too soon. These waters flowing, stepping into the deep end, soaking and realizing, while I am in this river again, I never stand in the same current more than once. Wishing she would accept my hand and swim with me in currents flowing, holding one another during future tides that may bring happy and challenging times. Visions begin evaporating and sinking deeper into the riverbed, awakening from a nap and a dream contemplating as it all flows downstream. Thank you. Yeah, this next one is, it's called Window Lament. A young child, maybe 8 or so, cloistered high above in his bedroom, serving time like an English folklore prince locked in a tower before an imminent royal uprising. A prince who was a pauper within a kingdom of friends, alone with his toys, talking to stuffed animals, looking outside, seeing girls and boys, dancing, playing and sweating under summer's jealous sun. Punishment for only a 76 in English. Punishment translating and morphing into adult anguish. A baseball landing below his windowsill, rolling across sun-scorched grass, needing to be watered. Tears watering up, rolling down his face as he is pressing his little hand against the glass. Crying himself to sleep with dusk approaching as the last of the day's golden rays are streaming down onto his toys, illuminating his loneliness, ending another day of punishment for the evening. Thank you. Who was born in the 70s? Okay. So that means you kind of grew up in the 80s. So this one, I did. This one's called 1980s. Trapped again in the 80s, a veritable Rubik's Cube, locked in place, nowhere to go, no way to escape, not even through a whirling tunnel at Chuck E. Cheese. The Cure, Def Leppard, and Morrissey, filling radio airways, swirling sounds throughout summery nights, filled with laughter, love, and teen spirit. He is breathless, staring at her soft ivory breasts, beginning to rub up against her virgin chest. Blackberry brandy on her tasty breath, sharing the bottle, an elixir, leading to erotic dreaming. Running through the woods from police under a full moon, glowing, acting as a searchlight, revealing shortcut paths back to the bedroom window, back home, back to adolescent sanctuary. Ancient video gaming, nothing like today. Electronic cubes and blocks melting onto old TV screens, teenage exhaustion and overnight pre-dawn hours, slumbering until noon, dreaming of the 1990s and what's yet to come. And one more quick one. I know I felt this way. You ever know what flop sweat is? I still do feel it sometimes. This is called flop sweat, so some of us might be able to relate to this. Standing up there shaking, I could barely see. Come on, you could do it. Fear infiltrating me. Boy, needing to pee. Scared, my stomach a nervous pit. You are the most courageous person you know, I'm telling myself. I'm the king of my jungle. As I start gasping, my fears grow, trying my damn best not to bungle. The spotlight is so hot, scorching me, searing my head, now drenching in sweat. The crowd must be laughing, wishing I could flee. I'm already struggling just to get through this set. Come on and focus. Shoot those words like a dart. Aykroyd told Belushi, get bright, we got a show to do, pal, pouring out my words, soul and heart. If this crowd only knew, time to rally the flag and march forward courageously, licking dried lips for the 30th time, puffing out my chest, ignoring my fears, still scared justifiably, yet believing in my story, to hell with the rest. Powering through each word, attacking each poem. Who cares what they think? I'm telling my tale. Fearing failure, self-imposed syndrome. Where the hell is it written I must fail? Hearing a crackling of laughter in the crowd. Chuckling not at me, but at what I said. Boasting newfound confidence, voice stronger and loud, trying my very best to avoid a swollen head. A smile breaks on my face, and I'm full of glee, saying my last word and in the crowd. I'm not doing this for the spotlight, but doing it for me. And for that, I am so proud. You guys are the best. Thank you very much.
Tell us about a time you jumped right in the deep end. I came out of a bad relationship and jumped into a relationship with a woman I did not know. She turned out to be the love of my life. Ah. All right, up next, we have a duo act of emotional poetry. Please put your hands together for Alicia and Veronica. You guys come on up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be presenting a poem that we so truly, dearly do hold close to our hearts. My name is Alicia Maynoon.
And my name is Veronica Abbas.
And this is The Stars We Tried to Hold.
By the girls that fell for constellations. Their
Parents named them after the universe, Elio and Orion, light and dark, sun flare and silence. A celestial joke whispered into the nursery, as if the universe had carved prophecy into birth certificates. They didn't walk into our lives, they orbited, spinning in slow, seductive gravity. Elio, all fire and poems he never wrote down.
Orion, cold hands and constellation eyes, always looking up but never at me. We
tried to hold stars with bare hands, with bitten lips, with teenage hope like static in our chests. We were girls, they were galaxies. We thought that meant we could belong together.
Orion kissed me like he was afraid he'd be caught by the sky. He never stayed long enough for dawn, only enough to leave fingerprints on my ribs and questions in my throat. He traced shapes on my skin like a map he never meant to follow. His silence had sharp edges. He said he loved me once in a voice too soft to be real. I watched him drift, a comet burning out mid-sentence. I now look for him in the stars, but I can't remember where he said he'd be. Orion never laughed with his whole face, just his mouth, never his eyes. He would say things like, "Forever's a long time," right after brushing the hair from my face like he meant it. I remember the way he dunked his Oreos, not all the way. He said the sogginess made him anxious. Like even cookies couldn't be too soft for too long. God, I should have known. Even the way he snacked was a red flag. He wore his headphones in one ear, always the left. Said the world was too loud, but he still wanted to hear me sometimes. He once read me a poem he found in a library book, but he pretended it was his. I didn't say anything, I just wanted it to be ours for one night. Now I read that same poem on rainy days and pretend I didn't cry the first time he left me unread for 3 days straight.
Elio burned. God, he burned. He laughed in metaphors and touched me like I was him. Told me I reminded him of dust, the kind that made him want to cry for no reason. But he was a lie I wanted to believe, a story I underlined too many times. I let him paint me with promises he knew would peel, and when he left like the sun. Behind a thunderstorm, brilliant and unapologetic, and completely gone. Elio never knocked, he just showed up, like summer storms and apologies that sound better in the rain. He was the kind of boy who believed in signs, but not in consequences. He'd kiss you in the backseat and say the song feels like you, but he never remembered the name of it later. He drank his coffee black, because sweetness made him suspicious. He said he didn't like things that tried too hard to be liked, and then he looked at me when he said it. He kept Polaroids of things he didn't care about, an empty train platform, a cloud that looked like a fist, me laughing with my mouth too wide, but he never let me keep one. He hated the beach, but loved watching me freeze in the ocean, because he said I looked like I belonged in it, like a shipwreck he could photograph but not save. He once gave me a book with no note, just an underlined pages and a receipt from June 3rd, the day he told me I talked too much, then asked if I wanted to go dancing. He never danced, he just watched me spin and said I looked like a question he didn't want to answer. He was always leaving, even when he was right next to me, even when I was wearing his hoodie and pretending not to notice that he smelled like someone else's perfume. And I knew, but loving Elio was like watching the sunset behind a city skyline. You never get the whole thing, just flashes between buildings before the dark swallows it whole. He texted me you up on the night I blocked him. I never answered, but I still remember the taste of his name when I whispered it to no one, just to hear how it felt without him in the room.
We dated the universe and it spit us back out, not with malice but with apathy, like we were children trying to catch stardust in paper cups. We were the girls who loved too hard, and they were the boys who never learned to stay. So now we read horoscopes like confessions, write down names in invisible ink, and pray the sky forgets them before we do. We were just their creature pets.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why aren't we getting more duos up here? What's happening, you guys? Collaborate, come on. That works so well. All right. Up next to the mic to share a poem, please give a very warm welcome to Deborah. Deborah, come on up. Oh, Deborah.
I was just thinking I did not want to follow that act, but okay. Here I am. Here I am. All right, let me get up here. I like to write poems that comment on everyday occurrences, and people, I see heads nodding, people can relate to. Some of you may have experienced this. You wake up in the morning, and it's a beautiful day, and you're happy. Your feet hit the floor, you're walking, you're talking, and you sit down with your cup of coffee, your Diet Pepsi, your Chivas, whatever works, and then you start to think, and you think, and you think, and then you finally find yourself in the deep end. So here's how it goes. This is called The Day. The day dawned with brilliance, bringing kisses on morning's early breath and a blue sky to hurt the eyes, along with neon leaves on trees just beginning to grow their souls. The songs my mother taught me hung in the air, while thoughts wandered like gypsies drunk on wine and laughter. Then tumbling into the place where the dark is kept. Compulsions competing for space and affection, driving desires needed for perfection, perfectly aligned and ready for rejection, wants out of reach, fighting dejection, struggling to greet the day with attention, grabbing forces of light with determined intention, climbing mountains, fording streams, forging negative prevention, breathing hard, breathing deep, snatching positives to keep the forward momentum to finally arrive back to that place where the brilliant day can start the race.
Tell us about a time you jumped right in the deep end. I thought creating a 60-second animated trailer for my novel would be easy. Boy, I was wrong. Animation is hard. Don't follow your dreams. All right, up next to the mic, we have a storyteller gracing the stage. Please give a very warm welcome to Lena. Lena, come on up. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep climbing. Lena! We're going to put Lena back in the rotation. Every so often when somebody leaves, I like to do this thing with the audience where I say, like, when they come back in, we're all just gonna, like, when I call their name, I want you to, like, stand up and applaud. Like, you've just been, like, waiting. So if we get another Lena, if you guys are interested when I call Lena up, if they do come back. All right, we have a first-timer gracing the stage. Instead, please give a very warm welcome to Carol Hoffman. Carol, come on up.
I'm short. Can you hear me? Interestingly enough, tell me your name again. Carla? This has a relationship in a way, and I'll tell you why in a second. First, I have to find the poem. I happened to go to the D&R Greenway some years ago, and there was a reading of Pablo Neruda's poetry. There was someone reading first in Spanish and then in English. And they said at the end, if we thought about what we had heard, we might want to write a poem and read it. And what I did was I made notes as I went along. So this is after or by Pablo Neruda. I actually sat while waiting for the evening to start, and I read a review written by the person who put the evening together. So I'll preface my poem with what the review said, and this was written by Judith K. Robinson. This was a wonderfully attended event that I created at the DNR Greenway Land Trust that brought the environment and poetry together. Pablo Neruda's poetry uses a cascade of images from nature to bring the richness of it more consciously into our lives. I wanted to create an atmosphere of sensory experience so that people could more fully experience their surroundings. Baskets of native plants, cups of local cider with a leaf of mint floating in them, a very special serving of a sweet, all to stimulate awareness and enjoyment. A selection of Neruda's poems were alternately read in Spanish by Carlo Momo, whose father grew up in Chile, and at his uncle's house where Neruda lived for a period, and by me in English. Behind us were a slowly evolving slideshow of scenes from Chile's landscape and wildlife that I had created to enrich the audience's visual enjoyment. It was standing room only. And now, my poem. This is entitled Primavera. The way of love, fresh, primavera, one rose alone. Laughter, shadows in the shadow, perfume and stars, silence, earth, stones, dust, you, tassels of hair, love, murderous love, wild flight, soaring feathers, the wind, a dream, motionless, without sand, the crystal moon, you, my heart has roots, la noche, time, the heart of the night, the voice of the rain in your hands, forgotten memories, an ode, quando? At night, among drowned bells, you weep. The next poem is called I Shed Tears. How do you sit Shiva for a frog? Such a short relationship, a one-way friendship. She brought smiles brightening each day. I counted her croaks, music to my ears. A clean pond, my chartreuse chanteuse is gone. Woodpecker musing, listening to woodpeckers drill, a pause, resting, the tool of your trade, lunch over, return, amuse my hungry senses. This is called Once Again. Once again, the night sky presents itself, a swath of clouds across an inky sky, mysterious, calm, surreptitiously applied with a well-worn Japanese brush, laden with watercolor. I might add that I'm an artist. I've written poetry all my life, but have never really read to anyone, and I'm enjoying this. This is called Practice Mastered. Squish, squash, fingers cool, damp, earth takes form. No, I flatten, knead, punch, slap, start again. Not child's play, this miracle, clay. This is called Going, not gone yet. I'm still alive. Yesterday, I almost wasn't. A close call, out of no, where. Going straight, then not. Hit, how, and how. When asked what happened, sitting among shards of glass, I replied, shaking my head, no, I don't know.
Tell us about a time you jumped right in the deep end. I took a chance and kissed her. Yeah. All right, up next to the mic for a poem about the deep end, I'm presuming. Please give a very warm welcome to Samir. Samir, come on up.
Good evening, everyone. So I was struggling around writing something on the deep end, and I didn't know what to do. I'm working on my second book, and I had no idea. Then I had a dream, and I just wrote it down. So this is the deep end. My son asks me if I'm an evolved soul since I write this way. I tell him we are all evolved men and women. Mother serpent fire lies dormant at the base of our spines. Once awakened, she'll lead us to a revolution in thought and mind. How did we get embroiled in possession and ownership? Working safely to make two ends meet, there is more to life than just existing cautiously. We need a revolution in consciousness, not just towing the line in futility for preservation for an eternity. I wander the world in my dreams, just like some black and white movie, idealistic and uplifting the masses. But we need to spread the word that release is possible through transcendental love for all beings, and we should shower it like a free gift, unpaid and unsolicited, on all that we come by. The deep end is a kind of madness, being free of everything that binds you down. The deep end is a call to arms, an end to slavery from petty deeds and actions. Brought about by being bogged down, we can all be special, we can all be illuminated. All we need is love in hearts and minds to be free from ordinary consciousness and responsibilities to achieve, driven by ego and desire. What is wrong in being inspired? That is the grace of the divine. Look for inspiration wherever you can. It can make your perspective greater, not just for buying some fame and fortune and peace of mind, but for a bigger expanse of will and foresight. Thank you.
All right, up next to the mic with a poem, we have a sculptor and veteran. Please give a warm welcome to Maria Mia Selitar. Selitar? All right, welcome everybody.
Hi everyone. This is my first time here. You guys are amazing. Thank you. So I'm a sculptor, a muralist, and a mixed media art. I've been writing poetry for a while, but I've never really shared it until this year that I turned 45, and I was like, you know what? Going downhill, so I got to do it now, right? So I do write a lot about my time in service when I was in the Marines, and then I'm a first-generation immigrant. I'm a mother of biracial kids, and so I always have these struggling identities within myself, and I always try to make sense of that. So that's what I write about. So I have two poems for you guys. One is called Love Warrior, and the other one is called Reunion. I'm a little tall, so maybe I'll just sit down. Can't get down there. I've been taught that anger is a bad trait of character, as if drinking poison to kill your enemy would be effective. Anger is often the flare signal your body sends off when it feels danger. Calladita, te ves más bonita. As if my vocal castration made me more beautiful. Collections of emotional shrapnel buried deep within me. Not being Peruvian enough, not being American enough. Undocumented shame versus a worthy existence. I volunteered my life, my mind and my body to serve, to protect, to honor, no matter the price. A free ride to those demons that hitched onto my Molly pack from my forced vacations to the sandbox, weighing down on my back, confusing me with an ox. My visionary heart, going against all odds, courageous enough to love another soul whose melanin count was much higher than ours. Owner of a rebellious womb that had the audacity to grow starseeds not anointed by wedlock, as if their lives were any less worthy. Motherhood gifting me a dark bleep cloud, shrouded in sleepless nights, bounded with the love of my starseeds. I need to disinfect my 7 chakras from these sickening wounds. I have always been alone. I am good at being alone. Pain and solitude are familiar faces. They're my teachers. They cover me in their dusty cloaks, but this faint voice inside me has been whispering, screaming, roaring. Take the muscle off my mouth. Release the knot in my throat. And so with teary eyes, firmly planted feet, and knuckled up hands, I free my voice. I am the vessel of life to biracial starseeds, pleading for the world to see the fabric of their characters. I will tell them, you three come from tears, trauma, and pain, but you also come from resilience, love, and strength. And lovingly, the forgotten clay on the table whispers to me, your hands create beauty out of nothingness. You are the sculptress. Mold yourself. I desperately wish I could recycle my body the way clay does, quietly sit in still water and let it reclaim every cell of my matter. Go back to the source and become pliable again. I want to be fluid. I want to be soft. I want to be sensually somatic. I want to be raw earth again. I am the creatrix of my reality. I am worthy of abundance. I am worthy of love because I am love and I give it freely. So when the question is why her, and the universe answers, why not her? Insanity is walking the same old beaten path, hoping to find a home instead of a bloodbath. The pearly gates, this majestic tree, your soul was born with the master key. The moonlight peeking through the cracks, causing waves to stop in their tracks. The vast openness of her cosmos, making an addict with the first dose of her love, her rage, her passion that draws you in closer. Are you not a galactic explorer? So why are you so effing afraid to explore her? So that was Love Warrior. Thank you. And this one is, in the military, families become collateral damage, really. I don't think any of us survive not being divorced. So after a very, very long time, I opened myself up to the possibility of finding someone, and I did. So I wrote this about us meeting each other again. So this one's called Reunion. 730 days. El sol mi testigo y la luna mi confidente. I stir awake in the darkness, salty tears sliding down my face, submerged in this liquid gold. Discovering my reconstructed anatomy. Limbs painfully exploring the limits of my confined chrysalis. A frail bubble suspended in the fabric of time, where my transmutation was safely consummated. There's a small tear in the ceiling. I blindly feel my way to it. The pain in my body is excruciating, but it lets me know I'm alive. I freaking made it. I clumsily make my way out. The soft mud below breaks my fall. What the heck are these? I am a bit frightened by these new appendages. Two thin wet veils that hang droopily from my back. A faint voice whispers, "It is time. Move, dance, run. Let your heart do what it was designed to do. Pumping blood to all four cardinal corners. I can feel my veins engorging with life. The heat washing over me is intoxicating. My legs regaining their strength, my hips swaying side to side, my belly undulating to the song of Atabey. My chest expanding, my throat opening up. The familiar war cry filling the air. but this time it feels different. The vibrational frequency of love, 528, 5, 2, 8, 5, 2, 8. 8, the symbol of eternal love, the seal of twin flames. 2 halves, one soul, two bodies, one flame. Suddenly, I remember that feeling. It filled out my hollowed bones. My hands yearned to feel your back again. I ached for your embrace. My head was looking for its resting place. I raised my teary eyes to La Luna and I begged her. I learned a lesson. I am tired of hiding away. This steel armor my heart no longer needs. Loneliness will not be my shield, nor indifference will be my sword. Please send him back to me. You were speaking to La Luna too, pleading for her to show you the way back to me, longing for my lips, remembering that I taste like the freedom you crave. His voice met me with, "Hello again, love. You found me in my mess, but you didn't run away. I don't want to be another battle you have to face. I want to be your safest place. Be the pillow you rest your soul on. I want to take that heavy armor off. Please let me kiss you, your deepest wounds, hold you in my warm embrace, and softly wash away the stench of war. Ishtar is engraved on my shield, on my armor, and on my sword. I am no stranger to the battlefield, nor to the sickening smell of death, the taste of metal on your tongue, the unquenchable thirst on your lips, the exhaustion just to keep breathing. Just breathe. But in here, behind these walls, in the space between us, between our bodies, between our souls, between fear and love, I give you my softness, and you give me your strength. Let my yin greet your yang until we are ready to face the world again. My warrior, my lion, my love. That's it, guys. Thank you.
I'm going to pull this up a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you need a PhD to work this mic stand. I just want to tell you that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, up next to the mic,
I have a very, very, very special guest. Please put your hands together for Lena.
I wasn't expecting this, but thank you very much. I guess this is what happens when you go down to figure out parking and your name is called. Okay. Oh, all right. That was, I need a second. Okay. All right. The theme today, in the deep end? In the deep end. Yes. I just found out about it today morning, and I tried to write something. Hope you like it. All I could think about when I heard this talk, gosh, I can't get over that. Okay. Okay. All I can think about when I heard this topic was adulthood, motherhood, and marriage. I'm a mom of a teenage daughter, enough said. I learned swimming as a teenager in a community pool, and everyone warned me as a beginner to stay away from the deep end or I would drown. No one warned me that it would be the same with marriage and motherhood. The invisible drowning, no one warned me. You learn to make it you learn to make it appear as effortless floating. Because that's what you saw. That's what you saw your mothers do, your grandmothers do, your aunts do, your sisters do, effortless floating, but it is invisible drowning sometimes. Everyone nudges you towards the deep end. Everyone nudges you towards the deep end. We are drowning, come join us. It's so beautiful, they say. It's the hardest job in the world, but the most rewarding. Hardest, hell yes. Rewarding, sometimes. But mostly exhausting, invisible, relentless. No one teaches you to swim. No one. No one says, reparent yourself before you become a parent. Heal your own trauma before you merge it with your partner's. And some of us, we dive head first. No floaties, no pause, and no maps. But here I am, 18 years later, not pretending anymore, accepting the drowning, acknowledging it, talking about it, writing about it, constructing my own floating device, until I finally learn how to swim into this deep end without drowning. And hoping that maybe, just maybe, I can teach my daughter to swim before she leaps into the deep end. Was this a story, a verse, a poem, a rant? You be the judge. I'm just out here trying not to drown. And thank you for the welcome.
Oh, man. It's also good just to get everybody up for a second, you know? Just to get everybody standing for a minute. Thank you so much, Lena. That was so graceful, too. All right, tell us about a time you jumped right in the deep end. Teaching in Brooklyn for the first year with only the lessons I have been taught. All right. Up next to the mic for a poem, please put your hands together for the Woody Karski Wilson.
Oh my God, I want a new car. It's a Cybertruck. Take it back. Okay. Oh, I messed with it. Now it's going to fail me. Okay. Hi, I'm Woody Karski Wilson. I missed the last two readings because I marked the wrong date on my calendar in May, and then flooding canceled the June reading. So I get 15 minutes for my piece today, right? So just joking. I think you'll agree that the heroine of my piece today has indeed been thrown in the deep end, or maybe she put herself there. Enjoy. Seal against the ice. My name is Seal, like the animals who swim round this mountain of ice and frolic in the tunnels and the caves. I work for Canadian scientists, who are mostly geeks but nice, helping validate the info that they crave. I set the sensors into sockets clipped to wetsuit rings and pockets, which adorn the sleek attire that I wear. The hardest job you'll ever hate, I'm always fearful of my fate inside this blue-white frozen iceberg. I'm irate. Ice sucks. Sorry, that was a change of topic. I meant ICE, the organization. We saw it coming, the mindless fascist Nazis with their scumbag rancid leader, and my sister spoke on Twitter to great effect, so it earned us a visit from that worst of thuggish groups whose only joy is seeking families they can wreck. Yay, ICE, proud heroic kidnappers of children. My father met them at the door where thugs clutched weapons, made for war. He threw his punches and he kicked, he shoved them off. The steps were slick. They fell, but one stood and he raised his deadly toy. I saw red and felt a raging Viking joy, then charged and grabbed that bleep-hole's gun. Pop, 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 pop. In just a few quick seconds, it was done. Oh, for darn, said my dad. having been edited, looking at 5 lifeless bodies bleeding out on walkway and grass. Get in the car, Seal, now. Hence a long, fast trip to Canada. Wait here until we win this war, and I can get you a pardon. He left me with the address for a Canadian research contractor, then returned to fight. Ice mountains make a menagerie of sounds like a glass factory quivering on earthquake ground, twings and pops and scrapes, the scream of ice sheets slipping past, and all the day and night these nightmares seem to last. Plus, I'm a bit claustrophobic, so that doesn't help. After a few months, you learn the language, and the pings and pops I hear now are screaming, "Get out or die!" CCGS Amundsen, something's wrong. Pal, lights out, comms dead, walls closer, hit my head, black, for maybe a long time. Still black, I fumble for my light, find it on my belt. What's the opposite of having all aces? Having all twos? Maybe, you choose, but I am screwed, locked in a huge ball of ice cut off too late. Maybe you should panic and hyperventilate, offers a little part of my mind, about to scream the heebie-jeebies. It's true I was forlorn and distraught, but no, I bite the head off that crappy little thought. I could go on and on about being locked in that hole, the mortal fear of walls closing in to crush my soul, and the endless metaphors about crappy ice I craft to ease my mind, and the shifting tunnels that open up around me, through which I crawl, hoping to find open seas, and the whole mountain tumbling and me mumbling about not signing up for this ride. I want a refund on my ticket. Every form of ice can shove an ice pick up its own butt. Gosh, I'm a plucky girl so full of sass, but at some point after I scream, rail, fume, and cry, at some point days later, water-depleted, battery-dying, hands freezing, at some point, I get the point. I am going to die. My headlamp battery is stuttering. Scrape water to drink is almost not worth the calories expended. It's the end of the line. What's so bad about this, Seal? I ask myself. It is kind of peaceful. There's no social media or news in here. I can't get accidentally run over by a car. I giggle to myself, and the giggle goes on a little too long. What's keeping me from taking off my suit and falling asleep forever? Let me count. I begin, holding up a gloved hand. 1, my drama queen sister whose Twitter account started this whole thing. 2, my Air Force brother who would have packed a laser from Amazon to cut himself free. 3, my goody two-shoes sibling who gets to use the AC in their room, but I don't get to use mine. 4, my jerk brother who won't let me wear his hoodies, but I really like his girlfriend. And my mom and dad, plus our cats. I lean back, banging my head on the ice wall. I'm dying without my family, always and forever. Ice screws my family because it's evil. I shift, gathering my feet underneath me. You hear that? Shithead iceberg, you suck. You're an assberg. And because futile gestures are better than nothing, I punch the ice. The world is thrown sideways. Oops, I manage before it's a full tumble, and if I'd had lunch that day, I'd be losing it now. Maybe 10 minutes pass and before the universe stops rolling and settles. How you like me now? I feebly joke, and since no one is around to see me act stupid, here's another one, ice hole. I punch the block of unyielding frozen matter in front of my face hard as I can, and it breaks apart. Rolling, ripping, thunder, crashing, world-ending ice smashing, over, under, screaming, seems the boiling, roaring, rending will go on forever, but light breaks on floating boulders, blue and dazzled with that light anew I swim hard and fast, and fearful nowhere left, and tearful sobbing gain the surface to a sea that slowly calms. A ship as tall as God looms right beside me with the name Murmansky Molut painted in red on the side. Some dude in his underwear leaps over the railing and cannonballs, splashing me, connecting me to a line that pulls us both up the side of the ship while he shivers uncontrollably. I finally focus on his face and blink, unbelieving. Dad? I say before passing out. I recover quickly in the infirmary, a scowling armed sailor standing nearby. You stole a nuclear-powered Russian icebreaker? I ask for the 3rd time. Dad shrugs. The selfless rescue by the Murmansk hammer, whilst cracking an iceberg in half, will make good press. I will not be mentioned, but they did take my favorite gun. He points to the guard. You could have killed me, I swallow, or did you think you were just retrieving a body? He narrows his eyes. I knew you were alive, but now I have to return. The war is on, and the whole family's on the front lines, hitting ice patrols and detention centers every day. Are you staying with the Amundsen? It's okay if one of us remains relatively safe. I look out to the ocean and the remnants of the shattered berg, a beautiful deadly tapestry. Drones are flying over, taking video, I guess. Screw that. I'm coming with you. I remove my glove to show him the rips in the knuckles. I'm pretty good at punching ice. Thanks. In case it was not clear in my piece, screw ice and all Gestapo thugs. Thank you.
All right. Up next to the mic, we have yet another first-timer. So please give a warm, warm first welcome to Ellen Lichtig. Ellen, come on up.
Hi, everybody. This is not what I do. This is really, really a big step for me, so here goes. Thank you. I may be the only 7 minutes person, but anyway. I've been in Spain for a solid 10 days, and I was acclimating nicely, I thought. Every day, I was becoming more and more convinced that Spain wasn't hard, that I could do it as a solo traveler, and that I could also do mañana as well as the next guy. Let me explain how I understand this. The plane was 2 hours late, and this was after a 4-hour layover in Madrid. And I asked my fellow travelers what they thought of this. And, nobody was fazed at all by the delay. And so I decided that I wasn't going to be fazed either. There was a power outage in my place, and it was completely dark, and I had to pat the walls in order to find my way in. And I asked the people inside, how they felt about this, and they just laughed. And so I laughed too. And then there was my next place, and there were 4 different modes of entry, 4 different modes. A card, a phone pad, a website thing. And my cell phone battery was waning, and it was really late at night. But I was understanding that just didn't matter. What I really needed to do was just to slow down, to let what happened happen, and it would be okay. So I was confident when I entered the train station in Cordoba to catch the fast train to Cadiz. I was also particularly buoyant that day because it happened to be my birthday, and you know how you are about that. And I was also sort of proud of my resilience so far. And I knew what I wanted to do. I was going to go straight down to the security, pass my baggage through, talk to the ticket guy and get him to check it off, and then go down to the platform. And as I was going down, the person said, "Don't forget, it's the 3rd train on the right side." And I said, "Yep, got it." And so I'm down there, and the train comes, and it's just really great, so smooth, right? And so what happens is that I am a little confused by something because the train doors just don't open. They don't open. And I'm running things through my head. It's early in the morning, there's a strike, lots of other things. And I just say, mañana, I just have to wait. So I wait. It's a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Something's not right. And I look finally at my ticket. My ticket says, in small print, there's a carriage number. Oh my God, there it is, it's number 20. And then I realize, oh my God, I'm nowhere near 20, nowhere near 20. So I heave my backpack over my shoulders and I run like the wind, and as if it's I see off in the distance that there's my carriage, and as if it's a bad joke, the doors close. Was there anybody before or after, like the conductor or somebody in uniform, there to help me? No. Was there anybody leaning out the window saying, hey, that woman, she's left behind? No. And so I realized I was, I had my first taste of being in the deep end. But no matter, it's okay. It was still early in the morning. So what I did was I went up to the guy, thinking, the office, and thinking it was, I'll get something else. And he was good. He rerouted me. He said, you're going to Sevilla now. You'll change in to Cadiz after. Great. Only a 25-minute wait. But I did say to myself that there was no way that I was going to be foiled a second time. So this time I know straight out that my carriage is number 16. And as soon as the train gets on the track, the minute the train gets on the track, I am running and running and running. I'm a good runner. It's a field and a half, and I get to there, and it's 16, and the door is open. So great. So, but then I see some writing out of the corner of my eye, and I realize I really, I should read it. It's right there. So what it says is everything that you wanted to say, but the last line said, destination, Malaga. Malaga. It's the opposite side of Sevilla. And I just flabbergasted. I just don't know what to do. And suddenly, how you lift your head up and you look around and, suddenly there's a world around you. And it's like we're in an Escher painting, There are people going up this train steps, and then the same people are coming down and going up and going down. And I just can't get this. I just don't understand. And I'm on the platform, too, and it's getting very manic down there, too. People are flailing back and forth, and I see this Muslim family, and I just kind of give them a quizzical look, what's going on, and, they can't really help me. They're just dashing past me. So at this point, I realize I have a decision to make. I can either get on this train where I have not a clue where it's going, or thinking that it's not going where I want to be, or follow this family. And I follow this family, and I get to where they have parted and finally find 16, and it says Sevilla. And I think I'm all set, but I'm so tired at this point. I just allow myself a simple exhale. And when I open my eyes and look up, again, the door's closed. So now my little Escher world is more like the scream. And although his was a silent scream, I had no intention of making mine that way. So I let my rage carry me up the stairs, and I go back into the office. And they really don't have anything to say to me. They shake their head, they scrunch their shoulders, one of them chuckles, and the third one says rather stoically, it'll be a 3.5-hour wait this time. It'll be $60. So I have to pay again. I realize at this point that I have a lot of time on my hands to contemplate. And when I'm contemplating is whether mañana is a good thing. There are so many people who feel that Spain is really a lovely place, and it is. It has something that we don't have, or maybe we're having less of, and that is a quality of life. They don't get rattled. They just kind of take it in as it is, and they know what their priorities are, to be and live. And I really felt that. And yet here I was in the deep end in this underworld, and I was also realizing, what I didn't know. But I guess I also didn't want to capitulate to a system that just wasn't working for foreigners. And yet there were so many more of us to cater to now, and not so many of everybody else to make it any different. Well, I did catch that train to Cadiz 3.5 hours later, and I didn't look at my ticket. I just got on board, And I also realized I was on probably the slowest train there was, but I did get there in time for sunset, a really beautiful sunset. But you know the best part? The absolute best part? For me, it wasn't mañana. Thank you.
Tell us about a time you jumped right in the deep end. When I saw a beautiful German Valkyrie in a bar, and I walked up and said, "Hi." She looked at her friend and said, "What does he want?" In German, I said, "To go to bed with you." She burst out laughing and said, "That is so cute." Then her boyfriend showed up. Oh well. All right, our next performer is a photographer and educator. Please put your hands together for Stephanie. Stephanie, come on up.
Hi, everybody. This is also my first time. I should have mentioned that in my little note. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so I'm a photographer, and this piece comes from a group of writings. I've been writing for a while now, in tandem with my photography, but never gotten a chance to do something like this. And while this piece doesn't have a title, it is part of a larger body of work with my photographs that is titled "I'll See You in the Morning." Okay. We're not obligated to find the silver lining every day. Those drunken nights where I'm quiet but crying or laughing on the floor. Are we safe from heartbreak if we never fall in love? Or are we just broken? Screaming at each other throughout a decade, this is the most common response. Paths etched in stone walls. I cried so hard yesterday, my eyes felt like golf balls found at the bottom of a pond. Have you ever felt like that? We're all afraid of the unknown, never enough time for the why, fighting for the dash between born and died. I don't know how to leave my past behind because trauma is not just a memory. It is reaction. Gender is just a performance, and fear, well, fear is a mind killer, because the nature of things is more important than the form of things. Have I lost my sense of femininity, or have I chosen to disregard it in my way of seeing you? To look without thinking, now a cognizant bitterness. Conceal and carry. There is no long-term comfort here in the deep end. Thank you.
Tell us about a time you jumped right in the deep end. I noticed court corruption, and I decided to call them out and dismantle it. All right, up next with some poems, please give a very warm welcome to Nicolo. Nicolo, come on up.
Hey everyone, thank you very much for being here. Just done a lot of open mics. All right, so I think I took this theme a little bit more literally, so here's some aquatic poems. This first one is called Alba. It starts with the epigraph, after Eduardo Koch's GFP bunny, a glowing rabbit created by combining the genes of an ordinary rabbit with those of a fluorescent jellyfish. This is a real thing. Google it. Alba. Here is my cage. Here are the bars my teeth have roughed, the brown bedding my legs tamp. A spout dribbles water, a hand scatters feed. By dawn and dusk I rustle, by day I rest my eyes and pose for photographs. Day is a vague haze of incongruity, an absent companion just out of view. Night is my dark mirror, a glowing aura I see but cannot feel. Night is sleep disrupted by phantom currents, this awful longing for the sea. Thank you. This one takes some fragments from Sappho, is translated by Anne Carson, and mixed them with some language of my own. It's called But Yes, You Know Well. If not winter, then at a wicker table in the sun, I tracing the compass needle, you tying stems of anise together in your soft hands. They let their wings down and agree to your entwining, an alive and densely bundled thing, you myth weaver. Shaking, I long and seek after ice water in a small glass, sweating through the loosely woven surface of light's colors, but all is to be dared. Untamed on solitary mountains, my hair has grown long and knotted with the shape of your histories. It pulls them down. Mingled with all kinds of wildflowers lying parallel across a saucer, not knowing the future's thickness there, and let there exist for us. A horse meadow has come into bloom. Across the valley, I try to orient by the sun. The compass, alone at the table, studies itself. With what eyes? Thank you. So I'll do one more. This one is called Fishing at the Edge of the Universe. From the shore, I would feel the haddock bat its tail. My feet would be slowly swallowed by the rising tide, the sand, a damp cup behind each heel. My eyes closed, I would listen for the subtle change in volume as the water deepened, honing, razor-like, my calves' ability to gauge depth. Water level drifting up another follicle that much closer to wetting the seat of my three-legged stool. Rod in hand, I would trace an imaginary arc from my steeled grip to the shimmying bloom of the bobber, its lead weight I knew drifting someplace below the surface. The water's numbing lap against my legs would start to speak in a slow, oscillatory tongue, an invitation to pass beyond a bright but worrisome threshold toward a smooth interior where voices mingle and each palatial surface might reflect but not retain. Still, with eyes closed, I would wait for my imagined arc to shudder, to steepen, to know the baited hook had drawn a nibble. If it sold the full swallow, I would draw up and dance in the tide, tracing a damp alphabet across the silver sky. Slack-faced as yogi, I would yank and dip the rod, ever reeling in until the haddock would heave itself past the stoop of atmosphere into my old pail. Then, holding the fish in my teeth, spread-eagled in the murk, I would allow my eyes to open. At once, it would vanish. The tide, the stool, my haddock, all disappeared in the gauze of perception, wrapped into a gleaming concavity the size and shape of an egg, reflecting my face, adrift in the absence of anything as a bulbous absurdity, and from behind it, the smooth lips of a grand doorway would suck shut, stately, and seal it with a gulp. Thank you.
All right, our next performer would like us to know. Tonight is my 1-year anniversary at Story and Verse Open Mic. Please give a very warm welcome to Lillian.
So, 1 year ago tonight, I stood here terrified of the microphone, trembling so much that you could hear the papers that were in my hand. Literally, I was shaking this much. And I've been transformed. First of all, I have to say that you people that are here, a lot of you are here the first time tonight, This place is amazing because of Brass Rabbit. Brass Rabbit has created a safe space for us where everyone is welcomed and encouraged, and you can be as creative as you want, go as far out as you want, go as in deep as you want, and everyone is accepted and respected. This is so rare today. I have to tell you that after being here for a year, I value the talented people I met, and listening to everyone's stories, different walks of life, different perspectives, different experiences. I've internalized so much, and it has made me grow, and it has changed me so much to the point where I started writing again, which I hadn't done for, I don't know, many years, maybe 30 years. And now I find myself thinking and writing, and it's just opened up a world. I've also done a lot of thinking the past year, and I've realized something, that those of us who write, we're really different from other people. We really have sensitivities. I think we feel more. I'm not saying we're better than anybody else. I'm just saying that there's something that is sort of within us, that we feel life differently. And so, that said, I wrote something. And what I wrote tonight was for all of you. Everybody sitting here, seasoned writers, published writers, people who were here for the first time, people who got up here and were as scared as I was. I'm still scared, but not as much now. So this is what I believe. So this is for you. I believe in the song of the universe, the cosmic consciousness that carries the old notes that existed long before time was recorded and bear the resonance of the collective thoughts and memories of all the poets who have ever written or sung their verse or told their story. Those before us who bore the sensitivity and the courage and dared to comprehend those ancient echoes and weave those fragments into a cohesive rendering. For those of us who dream of a deeper understanding of why we exist at all. So write, or sing, or tell your stories of passion and loss and hope and joy and life, so those who long for meaning and connection can be guided by the insight you have gleaned and share the wisdom that manifests itself in your words, because we need them now more than ever.
Thank you, Lillian. Tell us about a time you jumped right in the deep end. When I started dating the love of my life on April 1st, and we moved in together on June 1st. Every day, I'm reminded in little ways that he's above and beyond what I thought a person could be. Oh. All right. I think that's okay. Up next we have this person. You're gonna find out about them. They want you to know, come find me for a signed copy of my novel. Please put your hands together for Puck. You can find them at the Gentle Puck.
All right, everybody doing good? Good? All right. Sorry about the water spill. I've been ruminating over it ever since it happened. All right, so I'm actually gonna do something different tonight. I don't think I've ever performed 2 pieces here in one night. So you're gonna get a second piece from me. Look at that. All right, the first one has to do with the theme. The second one, not at all. All right, so the first one, back to shore. 10 feet. How did I get this far out? That's all I can think as I frantically fight to keep my head above water. This isn't romance, it's survival. Your love is a tsunami. Not tender, not careful, but cruel, careless. It swallows me whole, and I am drowning. I'm drowning, and all you do is laugh. There's a riptide of love bombing and gaslighting pulling me further out. I panic, flail, try to scream, but my lungs are already full. Is this the end? No. A voice cuts through the current. You don't escape a riptide by swimming backwards. You get out by going sideways. So I turn, kick, stroke after stroke. I carve my own way through the ruthless liquid. It drags, it resists, but soon I am free. Not safe yet, but free. 5 feet. My toes graze upon the ocean floor, stirring up sands of time and broken shells that slice through skin. Memories cling like cuts, but I persevere. I will make it out. I will make it out. 2 feet. The water clings to my calves, still cold, still biting. Memories wrap around my legs like seaweed, slimy, unfamiliar, unwelcome. I see you everywhere. Some say there are more grains on the beach than memories in my mind. They're wrong. You are in my head like the salt water in my ears. I try to shake it loose, but it won't budge. Goddamn swimmer's ear. 6 inches. It's almost over. It's almost over. The ice of it still haunts my skin. You're in my rearview mirror, objects closer than they appear, but I keep walking, keep driving. It's almost over. It's almost over. Land. I'm free. So why do I still feel so empty? My throat is raw from everything I swallowed. My ears ache. My feet itch with sand that refuses to let go. What now? I turn, look back at the ocean. It's choppy. It's hard to believe I made it through, but I did. You're in my peripheral, but I am free. I can go back in whenever I choose. By then, the tides will have turned. The ocean will be new. I can go back in anytime I want, but maybe I'll wait until there's a sandbar. Thank you. And this other one, I hope this is okay. I performed this at a stand-up comedy event, but it also counts as a story. Okay, all right. I've what? Okay, I'll hurry up. All right. It's called Pullover. So I was like, this is gonna end on a happy note, I promise. So I was like 16, 17, just got my license, certified baby behind the wheel. I'm driving to my fast food job thinking I'm hot stuff. Got Rammstein blasting like I'm auditioning for Fast and Furious Bratwurst Drift. Then suddenly my car starts vibrating violently, like cartoon earthquake level shaking. And then I say to myself on a road that I take literally every other day, oh, the road is unusually bumpy today. Like I haven't taken that road literally every day since living there. But do I slow down? No. Do I pull over? No. Do I turn my music down? Hell no. I just keep driving like I'm in the Thunderdome. Eventually, I notice flashing lights in my rear view, and I think, oh, man, poor guy must be rushing to an emergency. Spoiler alert, I'm the emergency. So I turn into my McDonald's parking lot, and this cop just Tokyo drifts in front of me and cuts me off. My soul left my body. I swear my heart fell out through my butthole. He storms up to my window, just like, what are you doing? And I panic, verbal diarrhea, like, I'm so sorry, I didn't know you were pulling, I had music on, I don't check my mirrors, I thought you were, and he just holds up a hand like he's warding off evil. And he says, you're driving on a rim. License and registration. I'm shaking. I look behind me and there are 3 patrol cars and an undercover SUV like it's a drug bust. All for me, all in my shredded tire. And he lets me limp it into the lot, and then because I'm stupid and like 16 years old, I ask him, can I get a note for work? This man sighs like I ask him to help me move a couch. He then walks me inside, explains to my boss why I'm late, like I'm in 3rd grade and forgot my homework. Small Midwestern town vibes. My boss sends me to the back to continue crying and to pull myself together. And then she comes in and goes, "I thought you were getting arrested." And I was like, "Me too. I was about to ask the cop if I could call my mom." So yeah, lesson learned. If your car is shaking like a maraca in an earthquake, it's not the road, it's you. And maybe turn down the Rammstein. Thank you.
I love hearing that some of us are branching out into different kinds of things. All right, up next to the mic, we have only a few people left, and then we got to get on out of here. Please give a very warm welcome to Mark. Mark, come on up.
Thank you. I appreciate you lending me your ears once more. Genetically, I always felt in the deep end. On my father's side, there were people, many family members with physical challenges. On my mother's side, there were family members with mental challenges. So I was always sensitive to the challenges and respected people that deal with it. I have 2 pieces. The first one is called Wednesday's Dinner. Her face was familiar to pain. Body bent halfway to the ground as gravity's friend. She spoke in happy tones that disguised her daily efforts. Struggles were forgotten as she searched the menu. It was her birthday. Every choice was special. Her sister looked on. Her brother-in-law listened with expectant attention to the same stories. They smiled at the balloons anchored to her wheelchair, marking the passage of repetitive time. Thank you. This is called In Meeting Summer's Daughter. She smiled in her orange t-shirt as the cuts on her arm revealed her manifestations of sadness. I could not hear her name as she said it. The variations of redness told of the pain's newness. Each cut was in groups of 2, 1 inch apart, alternating first horizontally, then vertically, traveling from her wrist up to her forearm. My soul exclaimed, "There is so much more to come. Do not stop at the beginning and deny surprise. You are worthy of the morning's bird's song and the brightness of the new day." But I just said, "Nice to meet you," while silently screaming. Thank you.
All right, up next, I would love you to welcome Rebecca to the stage. Rebecca, come on up.
Good evening. This is my first time here as well. So. I'm going to read a poem that is a little bit about mental health, a little bit about kind of the feeling I get when I don't have inspiration to write and I feel kind of ashamed that I have nothing to give to the world at that moment. It's called The Well. Above ground, the structure is like a body bursting forth from the dust and dirt. Muscled, articulated, built in wood and stone. It tapers sharply to the sky as if it's trying to pierce the white slivers of mist, like it could release something. Its delicate insides rotate naively. They do not know that the guts of the earth are dry, nor that it has been this way for months. I have tried to draw from here, but nothing emerges from that slim, dark channel into the light. Can I gather myself, haul myself up with rope and pulleys? Can I pretend I am water? I cannot run like that. The well is nothing but a hole in the earth, a monument to a time when rain would fall, when the aquifers were dense and black with liquid life. I am no substitute for what would fill my own mouth, for the sweet, cold drip of meaning. What I mean to say is, you cannot skip anything over me. If you had a stone, I would swallow it. I did not ask to be born into this world. I wanted another one. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, just for some time constraints, this is our last performer of the evening. I would like you to give an exceptionally warm welcome to the poor person who I always make close this event out. Suze, get on up here.
Hi, everybody. Wow, this is a long. Thank you, Brass. This is a long one. I am too old. My hammies are freaking killing me, and I have to fart really bad. It's stuck. Anyway, so I thought of another story that I could have told like 2 minutes ago, but I'm going to tell this one because that's the one I kind of sort of rehearsed as much as I rehearse anything. Okay. So when I was about 32, my kids introduced me to boogie boarding. And I, did the usual, like at the shore, like wee, and then I got like really into it. And I got like the longboard, and I got the flippers, and I was out, and I just had this ability to get the top of the wave. And I knew, out there like this, oh no, it's not this one. Like letting them go by because you know which one's coming. You know what I mean? Like I was like semi-pro. And I remember calling my ex-husband and being like, have you ever gone boogie boarding? He goes, yeah, when I was 8. And I was like, this is why we're not married anymore. And so, like, I took to it literally like a duck to water. And I would just go to the beach. I would have my board. It was beat up. I broke a bunch of boards. There was nothing better than, like, coming down and, like, my bikini top was gone. This one time I came in, and this kid was like, And I was like, oh, anyway, dude, was that wave awesome? Anyway, I loved it. I taught a 90-year-old how to do it. I taught 5-year-old girls how to do it. I am like boogie boarding queen. That said, I can't really swim. True story. True story. I mean, I stay afloat to date, I stay on the top. But, I don't do the whole swimming thing. The whole, I don't even know what the thing is. There's an arm over, and you turn your head, and it's very complicated, and then this one goes, and your feet are going. I don't understand the whole thing. So I don't do that part. And it goes back to the story of when I was a kid, and my mom sent me to VBS, Vacation Bible School. Anyone? Crickets? We also didn't know what God was, so I don't know why I went to Vacation Bible School, but that's where she sent me. I think it was free. And one of the goals of Vacation Bible School, other than learning who Jesus was, in my case, was that we were supposed to learn how to swim. And so I started as a tadpole. They had levels, right? And I was decidedly a tadpole. I wanted nothing to do with the water. So tadpole school was for the people who either terrified of water or their dad had taken them to see Jaws and they weren't even going to sit on the toilet. I was both of those, right? So I wanted to be a tadpole. I wanted to stay a tadpole. I also didn't poop the entire time. I was like terrified the entire week of everything. Anything near water, I couldn't go near the toilet. Anyway, so there I am. And at the end of the time, they gave me a certificate that said I had made it to Guppy. I had not made it to Guppy. I'm going to tell you that much right now. And my mom came, and my mom was a believer. If something was on a paper, it was true. And I was like, she goes, you're a guppy. Put on the fridge. And I'm like, I'm not a guppy. I swear, Mom. Please don't make me be a guppy. So then we went out to Burr Pond. She schlepped the entire extended family out to Burr Pond and told me it was the beach. So for years, I thought the beach had like cattails and frogs and was like squishy on the bottom, right? So anyway, we go out to Burr Pond, and she and the entire family they go out to the end of the dock. I'm like, I'm like 6. I'm not a guppy, I'm not a guppy. So we go all the way out to the end of the dock, and she goes, "You're a guppy," and throws me into the water. Now, the only thing I remembered from guppy school was that if you bob to the top the first time, you put up one finger, right? So that gives a lifeguard some sense of how long you have to live. And so, it's a true story. These are all true stories. And so the second time we got to 2, I did my 2 fingers, because, in guppy school, this is what you do, and then they come, right? So bob to the 1, and everybody's just looking like, Bob, here's my 1, and everybody's like, my whole family. And then I come up with 2, and I'm like, it's a 2, And I see everybody's like kind of looking around. My cousin, it turns out my cousin Michelle's going, I don't think she can swim like that. And, but I was like, all right, well, they only taught me to 3. I only got 3. So I came up to the surface, and I was like, 3. And I see my cousin Michelle jumping in to get me. This was a story that we told at many Thanksgiving dinners many years to come. So I survived, obviously. But it occurs to me now that, many years later, as a, semi-pro boogie boarder, that I do that both to own the water, and my boogie board is actually a life preserver, if I'm telling the truth. And the only finger I put up now when I come out of the water is this one.
All right, you guys, this has been such a wonderful event. I'm so glad to see you all here. I know it's getting a little bit late, so we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna let our poor receptionist downstairs go home. She can watch her shows. You guys are gonna be back in this room on August 21st. Our website currently says it's an open theme. We're gonna do 2 things at once. We're going to have an open theme in case anybody prepared open theme content. We're also going to reuse that killer theme that we didn't get to, Dreams and Wake and Sleep. So it's like a quasi-2 theme type situation. So Dreams and Wake and Sleep, that is currently on the website. That's for June. We didn't get to it. If you wrote something for it, you can drag it back out for August. I will be here. Our dear friend Fiona will be here taking videos of your beautiful faces. Melissa will be here. You should be here. Thank you so much for being here. Please get home safely. Thank you for coming to Story in Verse.